Ain't never gonna be the same. Cause outside of the walls, now running to the city. I make a lot of noise, cause the girls, they are so pretty. Riding up and down Broadway on my old stud Leroy, and the girls say, save my heart's right down.
In the car, I just can't wait to pick you up on the very first day. Is it cool if I hold your hand? Is it wrong if I think it's lame to dance? Do you like my stupid hair? Would you guess that I didn't know what to wear? I'm just scared of what you think. You make me nervous so I really can't eat. Let's go, don't wait. This night's almost over. Honest, let's make this night last forever, forever and ever. Let's make this last forever, forever and ever.
Please be seated. We are glad that you could make it here today for the wedding of Gordie Greenberg and Kristi Hall. Weddings, as we know, can be a little chaotic, but glorious. And we are sorry for the slight delay. I'm Kevin Phillips. I'm not a professional minister, but I'm Kristi's uncle, and I'm honored that both Kristi and Gordie asked me to officiate at this wedding. I'm going to start off with an introductory story that starts off with me, but have patience. We will soon get to Kristi and Gordon's story. I retired from the Army Reserves in 2016. Unlike active duty, where the officers plan their own retirement ceremony, in the reserves, once a year, there is a retirement ceremony for all the reserve soldiers. It was scheduled for May 7th of 2017. I usually look forward, not back, so I was not planning on attending, but my wife had other ideas. So fast forward to May 2017. So what you learn when you marry into the Hall clan is they are all in. When Rex Hall graduated from basic training, everyone hopped in their car and drove down to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Ditto when Rex graduated from AIT in the Chemical Corps that same time. So I should not have been surprised when the Hall clan all piled into their cars and headed down to Richmond for this retirement celebration. I should say all except Kristi. Kristi worked, so she could not drive down until May 6th. The weather was nasty, with rain coming down that would not stop. It didn't rain for 5 minutes like I'm used to in Montana, but rather heavy rain came down for hours. My wife, Gwen, turns to me and says, "I don't think Kristi's going to make it. It's not safe." However, Kristi and her friend braved the pouring rain, not being able to see 10 feet in front of them, and drove the distance from Pittsburgh to Richmond in the treacherous storm. Ben and Kristi arrived at their best friend's house, Molly, and Kristi has two things on her mind: food and her beloved Pittsburgh Penguins. So off they go to the local bar. It was there that she met Gordon. Gordon was there to watch the Kentucky Derby. They met and started a whirlwind 6-year courtship. But this was no ordinary courtship, no living in the same town and going to Applebee's every Friday night. Gordie and Kristi did an excellent job of outlining their 6 years together on the website The Knot, and I would encourage you to go there and read that excellent narrative. But let me hit some high notes, and let me just say, what a journey. What impressed me about this relationship is these two have made it work from a long distance. Gordon couldn't just hop in the car and be at Kristi's house in 10 minutes. When life gives these two lemons, these two make lemonade. Gordon gets assigned to Dubai. Kristi could have had a pity party about how far away Gordon was. Instead, she applies for a passport and joins him a couple of times over there. They made it an adventure with zip lining and a balloon ride in the desert. I remember when my wife and I took Kristi to Dulles so that she could ride one of those huge Airbus 380s over to Dubai, and we went and picked her up when she returned from that grand adventure. She meets Gordon and she becomes a world traveler. When I was in the Army chaplains used a book called How to Avoid Dating a Jerk. The premise of the book was that you had to date someone long enough to get to know that person. These two have been going together since the Kentucky Derby of 2017. They know each other. Every relationship, and I mean every relationship, has its ups and downs. My observation is these two hit a rocky part in the road. They find a way to work it out, and it is good. We will get to the traditional vows shortly, but the vows are wise in reading that marriage is in sickness and in health. When the going gets rough, it is good to have a partner by your side. These two will be solid for each other. When my wife of the Hall clan and I got married in 2012, the minister said it was the fusing of the Montana culture with the Pittsburgh culture. This union here today will be a beautiful fusing of the Boston and the Pittsburgh cultures, the New England Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have witnessed the grace these two have exhibited in pulling this wedding together. They live in Richmond, but planned a wedding for Pittsburgh. The long-distance logistics are hard to pull off. They planned the lodging, 2 different meals, and all the details of this wedding. They worked in harmony, and here we are at this joyous occasion, and their combined hard work has paid off. We get to enjoy the fruits of their labor. I have observed that they have a true love for each other, and their love will stand the test of time. I am glad of my small role in bringing them together. So let us proceed with the ceremony. Kristi has something to say to Gordon, and then Gordon will reply to Kristi.
Bear with the tears. Gordie, over the years you have asked me, why you? And while I may never find the words to explain, I can honestly say you have never been a question. You've always been the answer. The night we met, you told some cheesy sports joke that made me laugh, and that was the moment I knew sparks were flying. A few short weeks later, you were all set to move across the world to Dubai, but I didn't want to let you go. And that was the moment I knew you were worth waiting for. A few months later, on my first night in Dubai, I was so jet-lagged, tossing and turning, but you had to work in the morning. So when I felt you wake up, naturally I panicked and pretended to be asleep. Instead of being upset, you tucked me in and kissed my forehead. And that was the moment I knew I was falling in love with you. The following year, we had planned a special trip to Iceland. But due to unexpected medical emergencies, we had to cancel just hours before our flight. And over the next week, you cared for me like I have never experienced before. Before I went home, you told me you loved me. And that was the moment I knew I wanted to spend my life with you. 3 years later, you finally proposed. I may have been a step ahead of you for most of our journey, but I vowed to take every step forward beside you. I vowed to fill our life with laughter to fuel the sparks that started our love. I vowed to always recognize your value and know that our love can overcome any obstacle. I vow to fall more in love with you every day, in sickness and in health. But most importantly, I vow to spend the rest of my life loving you as unconditionally as you have shown me love to me.
Bear with me. Had those. She's had those for about a year now. Yeah. All right, from the time I was a child to to the day I met you, I would think to myself, who my future wife would be. What does she look like? How old is she? Where in the world is she right now? What are her interests? I remember the day you came into my life, and I think about it often. I was hungover as shit. Trying to get through the race, just so I could get back home to take a nap before another late night bender. I remember jumping in my seat when Molly came to the table. And then I set my eyes on her. Life is funny. Who would have thought that all those questions that I thought to myself were answered right then and there. I just wanted to watch the race. You were just there to watch the Penguins, who, by the way, weren't in the playoffs for the first time in 16 years this year. But right out the gate, I knew there was something special about you. Your kindness, your loyalty, your joy for life was nothing like I've ever seen in another person. Even in my worst moments, you were there, never leaving my side. I know I can be the biggest asshole. I told you this when I proposed. You've had your opportunity to run. But you looked right past that. You encouraged me, you reassured me, you were there for me every step of the way. Even when I was not sure where this relationship was going, it was those traits that keep me running back to you. And I remember that 16-hour flight. There was just something telling me that I couldn't let you go. And I never want to feel that again. That feeling that I lost you forever. And this is my promise to you. That I'll never let you go. I'll always be there to push your buttons. I will not stop trying to make sure that you're on time for things. Or at least not too late. I'll be there to make sure that you're not waiting the last minute to pack your bags. I'll be there to have for a shoulder to cry on and to tuck you in at night. I promise that I will always make you my first pillow, except when the Patriots are playing. You'll be priority number 2. And disclaimer, this includes halftime. I had a lawyer put this into the vows. I promise to be faithful. I promise to support you in any endeavor, even in the crazy ones. I promise to always to try to make you happy, to make you laugh, to make those bad days good days. Kristi Lynn, I think you think that you're the luckiest girl in the world. You're not wrong. You're wrong. I'm the luckiest guy in the world to have found you. And I love you so much. And I can't wait to start calling you my wife today.
Neither I nor all society can join you two today. Only you can do what you have chosen. You are joining yourselves each to the other. As you find union with one another, you proclaim that union today and pledge to the future of your union. We, by our participation in this celebration, do but recognize and honor Gordon Greenberg and Kristi Hall's intention to live together as husband and wife. Just as two different threads woven in opposite directions can form a beautiful tapestry, so these two lives merge together to form a beautiful marriage. Gordon, please repeat after me. I, Gordon Greenberg,
I, Gordon Greenberg,
take you, Kristi Hall,
take you, Kristi Hall,
to be my wife,
my wife,
to have and to hold,
to have and hold,
from this day forth,
from this day forth,
in sickness and in health,
sickness and
for richer or poorer,
richer,
in good times and in bad,
and good times and bad,
forsaking all other.
forsaking all other.
I promise my love to you. Chris, oh, not there. Hold it, just a second. Kristi,
I've already tried.
That's all right. We're prepared. Yes, that's right. Okay, so Kristi, repeat after me. I, Kristi Hall, take you, Gordon Greenberg, to be my husband, to have and to hold, from this day forth, in sickness and in health, for richer or for poorer, in good times and bad, forsaking all others, I promise my love to you. The wedding ring is the outward and visible sign of an inward and spiritual bond which unites two loyal hearts in endless love. These rings symbolize your new life together, for they are never ending and always beginning. They stand as a seal of the vows that you have made for one another. Therefore, honor these rings for what they represent, and may you two, who give them and who wear them, ever abide in peace, living in unity, love, and happiness for the rest of your lives. Gordon, please take your bride's left hand, and as you place the ring on her third finger, repeat after me. I give to you this ring as a symbol of our vows, and with all that I am and all that I have, I honor you with this ring. I thee wed. Kristi, please take your groom's left hand, and as you place the ring on his third finger, repeat after me. I give you this ring as a symbol of our vows, and with all that I am and all that I have, I honor you. With this ring, I thee wed. Because you have so affirmed this contract of marriage with love and respect, with the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. This glass demonstrates that marriage holds sorrow as well as joy, and is a representation of the commitment to stand by one another even in hard times. This is the last time that Gordon puts his foot down.
Mazel tov!
Light.
Gordon, welcome to the Hall clan. You may now kiss the bride. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Greenberg.